Hey babies, that's right, it's the one and only Mama Chocolate Sugar, and it is dinner time. Hey babies, okay, I just wanted to stop back real quick to show you guys my cutting pattern. This is what I use for my sweet potatoes because I don't want them to melt away and get all mushy in the baking process, so I give them a little bit of a thickness there, and that way they'll still be tender but with a little bit of bite just to keep their shape. Alright, I'll be back real soon. And if no one told ya, Mama Chocolate loves ya. Oh yes, Mama can throw down. Hey lovies, I am back, and we're going to just skip on over to my greens. Of course, we only use smoked turkey, and I'm going to season it with all these goodies, a whole lot of things out of my cabinet. Of course, we're going to use an onion, green pepper. I'm using half a head of cabbage. I always put cabbage in my greens. That's sort of my thing, my tradition. And then here's a bowl of already cleaned and chopped collard greens, and we're about to start the process. Of course, you got to use a big giant pan for that. I've already put some olive oil at the bottom of the pan, so we're gonna sort of sweat the onions and the green peppers with the smoked turkey, and then we'll start building the flavor from there. So I'll try to record and let you guys see, you know, step by step of how I do that. All right, I'll be back shortly. Oh yes, Mama can throw down. Hey babies, I'm back. Okay, we're starting to build the flavors now. As you can see, I've already diced green peppers and onions, and we're gonna put these in with our smoked turkey. We know that's already fully cooked, so I just sort of heated it up with the olive oil down there. And now we're going to pour in. I have a little more onions to put, but I want to show you guys. And then we're going to season it. From this point, you want to season every layer. Never using too much salt because you really want to, you know, oh my God, my camera's smoked up. But anyway, that's where we're going. Next, we're going to chop up this, and as you'll see, I build my layers like that. I don't fill my pan with chicken broth or water. I sort of, how can I say? I saute my cabbage and my greens in the pan. Cabbage and greens are filled with water, so you don't necessarily have to put any water in it. If it gets to where it needs to put water in it or anything, then I will. But I always start with sauteing. So I'll saute this until it's a little transparent, and then little by little I'll start adding cabbage and then greens and then cabbage and then greens, and I sort of store it as I go, and it sort of cooks that way. That way it's full of flavor. You don't sort of cook all of the nutrition value out of the greens and the cabbage with all that water. So, alright, I'll be back in a second. Stay tuned. And oh yes, Mama can throw down. Hey babies, Mama is back. Okay, so this is where we are. As you can see, those, oh my God, it's gonna steam out. But anyway, I've already sweat the green peppers and onions. They're very transparent right now. The meat is heated through all the way. And now we're gonna start building those layers. This is what I'm talking about. So, you take half greens, half cabbage, and you're going to start sweating that down little by little. I mean, literally not adding any liquid yet. You're going to keep doing that. Keep tossing and turning. As you know what happens when the cabbage is going to cook down. And you keep doing that. And this is how I make my greens. I'm mixing with cabbage. So it'll be, 2 parts greens, 1 part cabbage. And you see, no water. And literally within minutes, this is going to wilter down. And I just keep adding layers And because that cabbage and those greens have a whole lot of water in it, you won't need to add any liquid. And if you do, you'll only use a little. Because I love the taste of greens and cabbage, and I want to keep that taste. So I don't want to sweat it all out with water. Alright, so that's where we are. And I'm just going to keep building flavors. And of course, like I said, you want to layer you want to season every layer. And these are just random seasons. Nothing is salt. You don't want to do that until the end, or actually let family and guests season with salt themselves. So I just use salt and pepper in the initial onions, but every layer after that I'll just add my, regular, what is this? Soul food seasoning, some Cajun seasoning. I love this stuff, guys. You wonder why I'm using it for greens, but everything in it isn't going to focus. Okay, it's not going to focus. But all the things that are in it are so on. I love it. So I use that. And I use a little bit of chicken seasoning. Yeah. Chicken seasoning from Famous Dave's. Yes. That is not a homemade seasoning, but I'm using it. Don't judge me. I'll be back. And oh yes, Mama can throw down. I am back. We're on to our next step, which is my candy yams. And as you can see, I have steamed my sliced sweet potatoes. I know some people boil them, but I don't like to boil it because you're boiling out all of that goodness, all of the nutrition that's good for you. And then I don't like to bake it because sometimes you can overbake it, and then when it's time to slice it, then you don't have perfectly precise pieces of sweet potato. So I put them in a double boiler with water at the bottom, and I steam them. It's a longer process. It doesn't tenderize them all the way, but it gets them tender enough so that it can go to the next process, which is baking. I always want to start with a little bit of I did put 2 pats of butter. It already melted away. I don't like to use too much butter, but 2 pats of butter, which is 2 teaspoons of butter, and then so that all that other goodness that I'm going to put in there, I start with maple syrup, and of course I use my spray and tree, 100% pure maple syrup, and we sort of just drizzle that all over. It just gives everything something to stick to, and of course it also adds that smoky maple flavor, which I love. Right? Then you want to go to your next one. I'm sorry, I didn't say what it was. I season with some spice. I'm going to use my fingers actually for this part, but it's it's a couple of things. It's nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, and then I also use something called pumpkin pie seasoning, which is just a mixture of all other kind of things. Pretty much the same things, but that's what I'm going to use my fingers for that, because I don't want to put too much in one place. And we're going to just drizzle that all over, because you don't have a whole lot of leeway to stir this up, because once you start stirring it, they'll break into pieces. I don't want that to the side. And then next up, we're going to go with our sugar mixture, which is I use 2 parts brown sugar to 1 part regular sugar. I think I'm going to mix that and do that by hand too, because brown sugar tends to ball up and get on. Yeah, so use the longest sugar. Looks like a lot of it. Got a lot of sweet potatoes sweet. They already naturally sweet, but man, come on, you can't say no to adding sugar and sweet potato. Put this in the oven. Because potatoes are already halfway cooked by being steamed, it shouldn't take too long, maybe 25 minutes at 400 degrees. After 25 minutes, you can test tender, and you also want to taste your syrup and just speed it up. And if you need to add more time, go from there. But yeah, 400 degrees, maybe 25 minutes. And we'll be set. On to the next step. Oh yes, Mama can throw down. I am back. We're on to our next step. As you can see, I have some pork chops here that I seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper. I added 1 egg and sort of massage it in so it can coat well with my flour. We're gonna fry up some pork chops. I know I've been watching when I'm eating, but Isaac grew up on pork chops and I grew up on pork chops, so we allow ourselves to have one once a month. And I'm frying it up. I got the grease already getting hot on the stove here, and I'm just going to show you guys how I do it. Like I said, I've already I usually don't do this with 2 hands, but because my hand is going to get really gross, but I'll show you guys. I usually do it with 2 hands. So as you can see, it's real sticky and gooey, and you want to put that in the flour and you want to press down so it can pick up as much coating as possible, and then you want to flip, picking up flour mixture along the way, pressing it down, and then there you go. That one's perfectly coated. You want to let that sit on there. I usually put it in the refrigerator for about a good 10 minutes, so that's what I'm gonna do. Mama can throw down, honey. So yeah, that one's done. Push it to the side, and on and on and on. So I'm gonna finish all these, and I'll be right back. Show you it is going down, quality, restaurant quality style. So I just did 1 batch at a time. So as you can see, 3 pork chops, and then we gotta keep going. It's a process. It's a process. All right. Oh yes, Mama can throw down. Three down, I think like 4 more to go. Do y'all see that? Fried goodness, oh yes. That look like you went to Mama Pop restaurant, soul food restaurant, So we're about to go to the next step. And I'm gonna keep going, getting that grease back up to its right temperature before we put in the next batch. And because of the size, I'm gonna do 3 at a time like I did last time. Oh yes, the glory of the Lord continues. Fresh out of the oil. Oh my God, I have to show y'all that one more time. I mean, literally, it looks scrumptious. Hey babies. Okay, in case you want to see the goodness, here you go. Look at that. Oh my God, it's almost done. Literally maybe 30 more seconds. And these are finished. Hey babies, I'm back. Okay, so we're just about done here. The candy yams are out. As you can see, they look scrumptious. And of course, I have to make cornbread. Made from scratch as always. Didn't record that. You guys seen that a million times. If you want to see it, just request it and I'll show you how to make cornbread from scratch. But I'm about to start plating, y'all. I'm so hungry. So I'll make a plate and I'll show it to you in a few. Alright? Alright, babies. I'm back. And oh yes, God. Have your way in this place. Look at that plate, y'all. Look at the golden crust of the cornbread. Look at the glazed, candied yams. And how about our greens mixed with cabbage and smoked turkey? And then finally, those thin cut, crispy pork chops. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, Mama can throw down. And now Mama about to smash. Alright guys, if no one's told ya, Mama Chocolate loves ya. Ciao Bella.